Hello and welcome back to Lesson 2 of our Region and Junior Achievement. I hope that you learned some new things in Lesson number 1, and we have a lot more to cover as we begin today. So when we think about a business, it's important for them to really step back and evaluate what they have available to them to be successful. And so many areas of consideration will be related to resource management. And so when we talk about a resource, it's really just something that's used to produce a good or service. And so we talked about those goods, we talked about those things that we could produce. Maybe it's even that coffee mug, or maybe it's my phone. And those are just two easy examples. But when we think about these resources that can be used, there's 3 different categories that we're going to begin to learn today. And the first one is talking about capital resources. And these would be things that are tangible. You can put your hands on them. Buildings, tools, machines that are used to create a product or even a service. So when we think about, my dad being that entrepreneur, so he had capital resources of the building where the barbershop was, and he had all of his tools, the clippers and things like that. That's a very simplistic way. If you go down on South Oliver, you can go through Spirit Aero Systems and you can see buildings bigger than football fields that you can go in and they work and they produce the fuselages for planes and other big things. They have machines in there that can bend and mold metal, and they have all the specialized equipment, and all of that would be capital resources. Now, capital resources are usually a part of any business, but what's a part of every single business and a critical part would be the human resources. And when we think about human resources, this is the people, the talent who make the businesses work. They provide those resources or those skills that can be here. And this is my job. So I have oversight over all the human resources and the talent development here at Meritrust. And so we find talented individuals that apply for jobs that are available. We bring them in, but they're not done then. We need to help them grow and improve every single year. And that's what organizations are working on. When you start a job at some point in your life, you're going to start in the day one. You're going to bring who you are, your talents and your skills, and then you're going to figure out how to apply them to do that job very well. So that's the human resources. And then the last one we're going to talk about is the natural resources. And these are things that are in nature. So the air, the water, the minerals, the trees, for example. And so we have many of those resources here in Kansas. If we think about air, well, we could think about air as the clean air that we breathe. That's very important and a great resource of Kansas. But it might also be looking at the wind that we have. If you've traveled around the state, you'll see these big wind turbine farms. And Kansas is a very popular place for those because we have consistent wind. It's a resource that's unique in some ways to Kansas. And so that's a way that we can do that, especially in Western Kansas and throughout, really. We also have oil and gas, and that's a very important resource. If you go to Texas, for example, that might be the place where there's more oil and gas than anywhere. And so there's an example where their natural resources are very important to their economy. Another thing we want to talk about would be the goods, and these are items that can be bought and sold. And so yesterday we talked about those goods that were being invented or innovation, making changes to make a product or a service. And so goods, once again, is something that you would bring in, you'd buy into your store, and then you would sell. And then the other thing would be services. And services, we don't want to overlook, is a very important part of the business that we see every day. So when we think about, a haircut, that's a service. It's something that's done. We could even think about businesses that you might start or do even in the next couple of years. What could that be? Well, let's see. Maybe you have a neighbor that would like to have their dog walked every day. That would be a service that maybe you could provide. Maybe the neighbor's going away on vacation and you could be the one who goes over to their house and feeds the dog in the morning and in the evening and takes them out for a walk. So those would all be great services, and that could actually be a business. Other things that come into mind that younger people often do, the mowing of lawns. Maybe you mow the neighbor's lawn. That's a great business. That's what I did when I was growing up. That was my business. And I ended up getting to the point where I had capital resources of pickups and trailers and large mowers, riding lawn mowers and things. So I was mowing 32 lawns a week during one point in my high school time. And so those are all just different services. And then the last one I wanted to mention would be like babysitting. Babysitting is a wonderful business. So those are just a few things that you're going to be covering in lesson 2. I hope that you enjoy your time, and I look forward to seeing you in days to come. Have a great day.